Hi, I thought I'd do a quick video today about my eating, what my eating habits are. I essentially have been eating clean. So I know most people on bodybuilding.com know what eating clean means, and I know that I don't eat like perfectly like a lot of very lean people on bb.com do. But I do know that in the last 4 months I've lost about 5 inches in my hips, and that has been 100% to eating clean and adding lean mass to my body. So I just want to give you like a good place to start. If you don't eat clean and you wonder what is eating clean and you don't want to read a big long article about it, how do I start, where do I get started? Essentially, eating clean means that you still eat carbohydrates, you still eat fat, you still eat protein, but you eat the healthiest form of those things. So the healthiest form of a fat would be an omega-3 and omega-6 fat, not your saturated fats. So for example, eating fish, white chicken, a lot of the healthiest fats come out of food products that are grown. For example, almonds or flaxseed. So a lot of times you eliminate your saturated fats from your diet and you add back in a flaxseed type fat, whether it's through oil, or the best way to get flaxseed is to actually buy the flaxseed and grind it up right before you use it. So I have a magic bullet, I grind up the flaxseed, I put it in my oatmeal in the morning. And even just for 3 tablespoons of flaxseed itself, there's quite a bit of fat in it, and it pretty much adds the fat that I need back into my diet for somebody who's my size. So that's a very important thing, getting rid of the bad fat, adding the good fat. Then also the carbohydrates that you eat should be what are called low gluten carbohydrates, and I would suggest that you go online and look up low gluten, but I'll give you just a few examples. A low gluten carbohydrate would be sweet potato, not a regular potato. Whole wheat bread, not white bread. And then even with the whole wheat bread, you have to look at the label and make sure they haven't added a lot of sugar back in. I know a lot of people that are really picky will eat like Ezekiel bread. I stick personally with like pitas and that sort of thing. I don't eat a lot of bread. I avoid it pretty much at most costs. I eat whole grain rice cakes. That's a good way for me. And I eat brown rice. And I don't eat white rice because that would be a bad. So that's just kind of some examples. You can go online. There's also low gluten fruit and high gluten fruit. So a no-no fruit would be watermelon, which I love, but no watermelon. But peaches are good. Peaches and berries, strawberries, any other kind of berry. So you just kind of have to go in there and weigh out which ones are good and which ones are bad. I typically eat my fruits in the morning or before I work out, or just right after I work out, but not at the end of the day. So I try to stay away from carbohydrates in general after about 6 o'clock in the evening. And then also you have your protein. So you have to get your protein. Some things that you can find protein in are your meats, like basically fish and white chicken. It's about the best way to go when you're eating meat. Be very careful of even like chicken thighs, and totally steer away from processed foods like processed deli meat, processed like hot dogs, that sort of a thing, hamburgers. So you want to stay away from that. Try to get to your basics as far as meat is concerned. And then also like cottage cheese, try to make sure you get the low fat cottage cheese, always kind of weighing out your fat opposed to the sugar in a product. So you have that. So you have your fat, you have your carbohydrates, you have your protein. So that's just kind of a first little quick step on that. You also want to make sure that you eat 5 to 6 times a day. So each time you eat, you want to mix together your fat, your carbohydrate, and your protein, because they actually help each other to digest properly inside your body. A lot of times I find when I get to the end of the day, I haven't eaten enough protein and I have to supplement my diet with protein shakes. And a big reason for that is I'm not very good at eating egg whites. They're not really good on my stomach. So a lot of people try to stay even away from like protein powders. They try to stay as clean to food as possible, but not me. I'll just go ahead and have the protein powder shake, and I'm good with that. I notice though, if I put ice in it and grind it up with ice, that it's easier on my stomach than just straight drinking it. I don't know why, it doesn't make any sense, but that's how it works for me. So anyways, that's just a quick overview, some place to get you started. So when you start reading about clean eating, it might make a little bit more sense. And like I said, I'm not as picky with clean eating as some people are. I suppose maybe in the future I will be, but just more in a starting phase of being about 4 months into eating clean. That's kind of how I eat. So that's just a general. Didn't mean to bore you if I did, so hopefully that helps. Okay, thanks and have a great day.